Hi everyone, MJ here, and it is a beautiful, what is this, Tuesday? Yeah. The sun is out. I mean, look, there's some clouds, but it's a pretty nice day. And I just wanted to show you what it's like in Taiwan. We are not locked down. So I'm not going to be critical of other governments and about their slower response. I'm going to be positive about Taiwan because there are two things that Taiwan knows for certain. Yeah, vitamin D is good. A couple thousand units, man, just by getting in the sun. But Taiwan knows that China lies, and Taiwan went through SARS. So Taiwan government realizes it has to rely on itself, and so it began rationing masks and so forth. Announced today that we broke 300. Ken Ron, how you doing? Nice to see you. We broke 300 cases, which isn't bad though, because we have almost 24 million people. Up to 5 deaths. The last 2 deaths were people in their 50s and 60s, and one person had some serious underlying comorbidities. But everything is open. The reason there are not many people walking around is because most people are at work. I'm just walking down the street. Hi, MJ here. Listen, I wear my mask when I'm out. Whoa! I wear my mask when I'm out and about. Mostly out of habit. But I'm used to it, I've been living in Asia for a long time. Living in Taiwan for 16 years. Now you notice I'm clearing my throat. Oh, will you knock it off? I'm clearing my throat. I always have some kind of a congestion. Yes, it is. It works great. I live in the industrial park. I always have some kind of congestion. This time of year, I got like a little low-level cough, but that's normal for me, and no fever. So, anyway, enough about me. Oh, I hurt my back, by the way. I'm wearing a compression back brace, okay, like a belt. And I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and he did help a lot. There's some people who are, on the scooter, on the bicycle. I bet it is. I haven't had any foreigner prejudices hurled at me like is happening in China and some other places. Your ex what? Anyway, this business is normal. These places are all open. The nail place is open here, the Vietnam nail place. Yeah. Some of the people that are walking, you see, are wearing masks. I do not have my wide-angle lens on. It doesn't really work on this device because of the way the arrangement of the 3 cameras is. Eventually, Prism is going to support multiple cameras on this device. To be quite honest with you, I haven't really been communicating much with the Prism team because they got their hands full. So I was just going to walk up here and show you what's going on, because like the open air fruit market and stuff's open, the convenience stores are open. Some guys out front just having some beers. They probably got off of work the night shift. We are not in lockdown because the Epidemic Command Center was activated in December and took immediate control. A lot of hoopla going on about the WHO and Taiwan's participation, and I don't get involved in politics, but back in December, Taiwan authorities told the WHO, yes, there is human-to-human contact. Okay, so this is the mask purchase. You can see it says both in hotel, right? This mask purchase, and this says from Monday to Friday. Come on, go ahead. Thank you. You can see on the left from 2 p.m. Okay, and from, she said good evening. Can't speak English. And 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 2 o'clock. Now, what is not on this sign, yes, thank you, and can only be read in Chinese, is the fact that the odd numbers are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the even numbers are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And so, every 7 days, you can buy 2 masks per person. Okay, so 2 masks. It says that it's 10 NT. This has been increased to 3 masks per person, so it's 15 NT for total. So that's the deal. It doesn't say this over here. Now, this is definitely a disadvantage for people who can't read Chinese, and that would be most of like the Filipino workers. But you can see, sorry, I am clearing my throat. You know, I've had my breakfast, right? And one of the things that I love is hot sauce, and I completely cover my food with hot oil. I mean, really super spicy hot oil. So what happens is I end up coughing and clearing my throat, which is good. Like that. Open air fruit market. Nobody worried about it. With only 300 cases, and the tree, I think it's 306. And people know that there is, you know, it's an astronomical chance of them getting the virus. You can't wash the mask per se. When you wet the mask, it's kind of like wetting a paper towel. It reduces the strength, and it will definitely affect the filtration layers. And so we talked a little bit about this before, but I'll go over this again. There are 2 schools of thought on that. First of all, when you fold the mask, you fold it so it's inside out. You fold it in half so it's inside out and longitudinally, actually. And then, oh, look at this cute little Japanese dog. The only washable masks are cloth masks, and their effectivity is highly questionable. Although, all right, let me get to that in a second. That's a very good question. It's okay. I'm going to get to that in just a second. The regular surgical mask, like I got on, this is what I have on is a regular surgical mask, you know, with the nose band on it, right? You know what I'm saying? You can you pinch this, okay? And so it's a surgical mask. So what people are doing is they're taking them off and folding them so the inside is out, you know, so the outside of the mask is folded together and is hidden, and then they're putting it in a Ziploc bag. Now, one news report that I read is that you can take 75% or higher grade alcohol and lightly spray the outside. The problem is, I have also seen in Taiwan studies where people saturated the mask with liquid and the mask started leaking liquid, which indicated that the material had been compromised. Now, it's okay, ask the question, washable mask. The only washable ones would be the cloth masks. But what people are doing is, and this is pretty smart, they're making fabric mask covers. And so the mask cover takes the brunt. And then the surgical mask underneath only has to deal with the material that gets through the cloth mask. And so even if the cloth mask is only 25% or 50% effective, you're still reducing the matter that contacts the surgical mask underneath by a quarter or a half, right? So then people are taking those masks and washing them. And so that is a way that you can extend the life. Yeah, pre-filter, yeah. But I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I know, because I happen to live in Taiwan and this stuff is on TV all the time, and you know, it's commonly discussed. But I want to say hi to everyone and welcome on YouTube and Periscope. Now, we haven't had any Periscope comments yet, so I hope we're on the air. We should be. I am streaming also on Twitch, and we have comment capture on all platforms. By the way, I'm having trouble with Africa TV, the Korean service. I changed devices and I was unable to sign in on my new device. It's been months. I've written to Africa TV several times. They won't respond. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're overwhelmed with, you know, this pandemic. But the bizarre thing is if I go to, you know, forget password, then it doesn't recognize my email address that I signed up with. But on my email inbox, I have a welcome to message, so I know I have an email address that's active. And then if I try to use forget password and then they ask what my username is, then they say, you know, username not registered. So I go, okay, fine. So I sign up for a new account with my username and it says the username's already taken. So I've asked them twice to help me and I've heard nothing. And I liked that platform and I was looking forward to multi-streaming with them again and capturing the comments with Prism Live. Now it's hard for me to walk fast. Not letting you sign in too. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what that girl was doing, man. She almost hit me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm having trouble walking because I'm in pain. I'm not taking any pain medication whatsoever. I refuse to, because I don't want to forget that I'm injured. You know, I don't have to play a Super Bowl game or anything like that where I'm going to risk, you know, the rest of my career for some incredible win. No, I'm just a guy. I'm a 64-year-old guy too. Yeah, that was a dive bomber. Would you guys mind terribly going over to Periscope and just checking the comments and making sure that we're actually, you know, there? What time is it? It's okay. Looking at my watch here. It's 11:38. Okay, sorry. Had to take my eyes off the screen for a second. So you see a lot going on here, and we're not in lockdown. And the convenience store is wide open. Yeah, and people are going in and out. Well, you know, if I had to duck out of the way, I would have been in serious trouble. This is the big problem right here, is these unregistered, unlicensed factory workers with no driver's license, no money, and no insurance driving those electric bikes. Hey, Cheesy, thanks for giving me a test here on Periscope. Now, because I hurt a little bit, I'm going to go over here. Hey from Texas, hey Ken. I'm going to go over here for a second, and what I'm going to do, look how dirty this is. I'm going to get my my fold-up tripod, come on, out of my bag. Now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to have a seat for a minute, because my back hurts. Now this is the famous Southeast Asian store called Jar Jar. And I have streamed from here, oh, I don't know how many dozens of times. Now, let me set this up. Periscope is freezing. Okay, well, yeah, Periscope, I think, is overwhelmed. I mean, the country that Periscope is from is under lockdown. And so they, you know, there's a whole country full of bored people that are using Periscope, and I think that's the issue. Okay, so all right. Now let me do this. This is just a street corner. This. Okay. Hi everybody. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. So anyway, I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to probably relax. I'm going to try to do some studio work today. But the main problem with the mask for me is that this wire band is never tight enough, and I get fog on my glasses. So I don't wear it when I'm driving. Thank you. I don't wear it when I'm driving, which I don't need to because I'm in the car anyway, you know. Yeah. Oh, but I can't believe how much pain I'm in. That's okay. I should be okay in a couple weeks. I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and he used one of the, you know, the gun that has the very specific amount of force that it uses for adjustments. And he adjusted my entire body, and I even had a problem in my knee that he took care of. So this guy is really good. But I think what I have is actually Kenrod has the call, because he said to me that I may have sprained a muscle, and I'm pretty sure that that's what I did. So let me go back on the street because it's looking at me. Okay. You can see the activity here, and we're not in lockdown, which is good. And you don't want to be in lockdown unless it's absolutely necessary. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, I see a lot of traffic going on Twitter and on other social platforms, and it's usually people from America saying that, you know, this is an outrageous violation of their constitutional rights, and they're not going to comply with quarantine and all this stuff. And the justification for that is that the government may not relinquish those special powers after this is over. And that may be true. But, you know, another fundamental part of the Constitution of the United States is that a person cannot be penalized for a crime that they might commit. Correct? So my recommendation to you is stay inside. You hear people talking about flattening the curve. That's not a buzzword. That's a thing. You need to flatten the curve. The United States has the highest number of reasonably trustworthy numbers, and it's out of control. You know, for example, you can't say to your state that you live in, I'm not going to pay taxes anymore because you might use the money for a project that I don't approve of. And you can't tell the federal government, I'm not going to pay income taxes because you might use it to build weapons and I'm against war. No, you can't do that. And so you can't say I'm not going to violate quarantine because they might be power hungry and they might keep the United States under martial law indefinitely. Okay, well, you know, might. And if we prosecute people on what they might do, okay, Ken, thanks. You know, yes, they can. And they should. They shouldn't do it, though, during peacetime. But yeah, police should be able to pull people over and ask them for papers, because if they're violating a quarantine order, they need to be made to go back into quarantine. See, this is the problem. You saw those idiots down in Florida who were partying and saying stuff like, hey, if I get corona, I get corona. Well, that's fine. If they get corona and they get sick, whatever. But the problem is the incubation period. In the meantime, they have infected thousands of other people. And so they could end up killing their own grandparents, you know? And so, yeah. Sometimes people do need to be told what to do. In Taiwan, we don't have a lockdown, but the CDC, the command center, has said that the next 2 weeks are critical. Lockdown could happen, and if it does, I'm going to obey, because I want this over. But here in Taiwan, we don't have to worry about them relinquishing those controls after the crisis is over. Because you see, Taiwan came from a martial law background. Taiwan has had the longest period of imposed martial law than any other country in history. And when it was abolished, the government was resolved to never do that again. So we don't have to worry about that here in Taiwan. And the generations that have come along since then just won't have it. Anyway, but you need to take this seriously. And sometimes, you know, your rights may have to be infringed upon in order to protect others. I just think it's selfish to insist on personal rights at a time when it's a national emergency, but it's a health emergency, and your non-compliance could end up causing someone else's death. So that's about as political as I ever get. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me. But all I got to say is, the numbers will bear it out. When you look at what's going on with different countries, the proof will be in the transmission rate. Dr. John Campbell has a daily YouTube update on his channel, and he is advocating people around the world to stay indoors, avoid social contact, comply with the quarantine, because we need the reduction. See, the problem is rights don't matter. This is science. Science matters. That's really what matters. Politics don't matter, because viruses don't have passports. So I just wanted to come on and do kind of a normal, everyday live stream to show you that we can get through this. I wanted to tell you what I think, but I wanted to show you about Taiwan, and this is a classic example of a government that took action, and yes, it did. The government took appropriate action early on, and the people are compliant and obedient, because we remember SARS, and I was here during part of the SARS 2003 outbreak, and it was scary, and the death rate was high. So it is. This is the industrial park. You know, over here we have Formosa Plastics, Giga Storage, we have Rytech, you know, the CD and DVD manufacturers. We have Panasonic, we have Mitsubishi Elevator, at least 4 steel manufacturers. We have glass manufacturing over here, so, and a lot of casting. My wife and I run a manufacturing consortium called AsianCastings.com. You can find AsianCastings.com. And we do not have China in our supply chain. So if anybody's looking for castings, machine parts, and pretty much anything else, I mean, we're highly connected here in Taiwan manufacturing. We can solve your problems. But yeah, that's what, you know, that's what this is here. This is the industrial park. We happen to live here. But I mean, you see all the trucks. The trucks are commerce. But even so, Taiwan has earmarked several $billions of money to help the industries that have been hurt really bad. Like one of my friends drives a taxi, and he shrugged his shoulders the other day and he said, yeah, taxi business is terrible right now. And so he's eligible for a subsidy, and he should get one. And this is what governments should do. I mean, we're paying these high taxes. Well, what are we getting for it? I mean, Americans don't even have national health care. That is a crime. So many years when I lived in the States, I was unemployed. It wasn't my fault. But I was unemployed. And because I was unemployed, I didn't have health insurance, because health insurance is offered by companies. I mean, that's stupid. So I didn't get health care that I needed. And I think it's criminal. And there are groups of people, you know, homeless and so forth in the United States. And I understand that now attention is being paid to that problem. But why does the problem exist in the first place? Because of for-profit medical care. Taiwan's national healthcare system has been rated #1 in the world. Go for it. What's stopping you? Don't wait. Don't wait. What I would do, the only thing that I would caution you on, it's okay, is calling it a mask. I would call it a mask cover. That way you don't worry about the liability of, you know, oh, it's not certified, it's not tested, it doesn't, you know. Somebody will say, oh, I wore it and I got the virus anyway. Call it a mask cover. Yeah. Some of the people that you see that are wearing the so-called Taiwan scooter masks, they're just pieces of cloth, you know, with the ear bands on them. They're actually mask covers. And some of the people who are wearing them are covering their surgical mask. This car just parked right in my way here. They're covering the surgical mask, so yeah. All right, thanks for joining, everyone. I think I've done my part with commentary. And my comments are not meant to offend anyone. And just remember that facts are not attacks. Okay? Facts are merely facts, and I'm just trying to point out some things that may help some people. Please stay in. Wash your hands. If you have masks, wear them. If you don't, do the best that you can. Do some research. There are mask alternatives. There are alternative materials that you can use, but you have to do your own research. Yeah, I am, because, you know, I love people. And I love my followers, and I appreciate them so much. And sometimes my followers tell me they have problems, you know, issues. And when I in the stream, I end up weeping over those things that I hear. They bother me so much, and I don't mind telling you that. But thank you, Ken. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just having a little trouble walking, but I can still sit in a chair and play. And I want to apologize to everybody for the last stream I did with my really lousy guitar playing. Seriously, I was in a lot of pain, but it was fun. I needed to do that from a psychological standpoint, but I know the performance was really stinky. But you guys take care. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you. This is MJ for Taiwan Live TV, and I want to say Zaijian and thank you from Taiwan. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye. And that is a wrap.